morning. My name is Sergeant Mike Ernster. It's spelled E-R-N-S-T-E-R. I'm the Public Information Officer here at the St. Paul Police Department. I'm here to talk about a shooting that occurred earlier this evening that resulted in the death of a man in our Payne-Phalen neighborhood. As usual, I provide you a synopsis of kind of what occurred out there and where we're at currently in this investigation, but we are still pretty early where we don't have a lot of things that we can share about this investigation. But I can tell you that just before 8:30 p.m., multiple callers reported shots fired in the area of the 800 block of York Avenue on our east side. One of those callers reported that a person had been shot at a residence on the 800 block. When officers arrived, they found an adult male victim suffering from apparent gunshot injuries. Officers began to provide first aid to this man while they also called for St. Paul Fire paramedics to respond. Unfortunately, when medics arrived, they pronounced the man deceased. Our officers immediately secured that scene and began looking for any witnesses or anything that could point them in a direction of what occurred and who was responsible. They relayed that information to our homicide investigators who had been called in, and our investigators are currently working through facts of this case with the hopes that we can identify who was responsible. They're doing that through looking for evidence, whether that be physical, whether that be video evidence, or eyewitness statements. We're working through all that right now. That process is going on as we speak. But what we do need is anybody out there has any information about this case, investigators would like to hear from you. So please call 651-266-5650 and talk to an investigator. Let them know what you know, and hopefully that will lead them down the path to identifying who's responsible for this crime. We'll be working with the Ramsey County Medical Examiner to positively identify the victim and determine his exact cause of death. This information and any other updates in this case will be released on our X account at SPPDMN in the coming days, whether that be the identification of the victim or possibly if we make any arrests in this case. At this point, no arrests have been made. This is our 13th homicide of 2024. I'll take some questions. I might be able to answer some. Most likely we're too early on in this to really have an idea of exact details that everybody wants to know about.
What does this compare to last year as far as homicides go?
Last year we were at 17 at this time of year, and this year we're at 13.
Out of the 12 previous homicides, how many of those have been closed? Do you have any open ones, or is there?
Good question. I know we've closed just today. We announced charges in our last homicide. Our last homicide was 1 week ago, and we've made 2 arrests in that case, and one of them being charging a suspect today with murder. I think we typically average 88 to 92% solvability rate, and I think we are right in that range as we speak for this year.
Do you have any information on the crash that happened on Dale and Thomas, by chance?
Sure, yeah. I don't have the exact time, but I know that a motorcycle was traveling southbound on Dale, and a vehicle was traveling northbound. The vehicle made a left turn to pull into a convenience store at the corner of Dale and Thomas. The motorcycle struck the vehicle as it turned in front of it, causing the driver to be ejected from the motorcycle. That was an adult male driver, I believe in his 50s. He was transported to Regents Hospital with serious injuries. Last I had heard, he was in stable condition. The drivers are cooperating. It doesn't appear drugs or alcohol are involved, but there were some citations issued to the driver in regards to the driving conduct that caused the crash. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.